Sorry, everybody. Here's a continuation of part one. So I went ahead and just filled out the interest rates. So if you notice in the status section, I have arrows going up, down, and then nothing next to the current accounts. So this is helping you to understand that paying your balances lower than 30% is amazing, because that's telling any credit grantor that, hey, you don't need to live off of your credit. You use it healthy. So for example, my first credit card has a zero balance. So therefore, I'm definitely under the 30%. So every down forward arrow is informing that I know that's a note to myself that I'm less than 30% of my credit that is being offered or extended to me. Now, here where you can see it's going up, that one it's right, it's a little more. So it's over the 30% threshold. So I'm like, okay, note to self, that's over the 30%. With student loans and, like, for example, your mortgage, a mortgage is a positive debt. So that's not something to be looked at like, oh my gosh, it's not under 30%. But as far as the credit cards, you definitely want to keep those under 30%. So within this formula, if you wanted to drop everything down to 30% first, that's really good. So for example, if I chose to just make the minimum here and then decide that for the two cards that I have that are over 30%, if I chose to just hurry up and pay everything else, the minimum balance each month, but pay a little bit more to those two higher cards to get them under 30%, kudos to you if you choose to do that. I've done that for several times, and my credit score is pretty healthy right now. However, I need to eliminate this, and I need to do it. I rather do it faster, and I don't want to work 2, 3, 4, and 5 jobs, to get it done. I just need to stick to the budget. So the way it works is, if you were going to pay the minimum, you would try and sell, if you needed to. Say if you had an extra car, if you wanted to sell a vehicle. I'm realistic. I'm not selling shit. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm not selling anything. If it don't need to be sold, I'm going to continue to acquire it. So everybody's situation is different than the next man. You have some people who may be in dire situations and they need to get some stuff off of their back like yesterday. Me, I can just work the timetable. So for example, let me break this down. So for the 206.67, if I decided to pay that off and just say, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and pay off the whole 206.67, and then that goes away. But I paid everything else the minimum payment. So then the next month, if that minimum payment was $27, then I take the 27. So for example, next week, I know I'll have this total, this total, this total, this total, and this total paid off. So in the last video, I think I said 6 or something. So this first one was zero balance. So then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 5 accounts will be at a zero balance as of next week. So if I were to add up these 5 accounts, 27, 35, 25, 30, and 43, that's a whopping $160 for monthly payments. So then what I would do is I would take that $160 payment, which is the equivalent of these here, these 5. I would take that and then add that $160 to the $64. So now that's $224. So now I'll just keep paying that $224 until this is completely taken care of, this 1702.86. And then I'll just make the minimum payments for the rest of these. Okay. And of course, if you have student loans, if you can do a forbearance or, anything, like if you're back in school, then of course, most loans won't have you paying the minimum payments at that time. They'll kind of give you a little break. So if that's something that you can do, try and do that. So that's at least something that you don't have to incorporate, but continue to pay it as if you had to, and then pay it into your other balances. But back to where we were. So then that's $224 that I'm paying. So then I take that $224 and add it in addition to this $255, and now that's $479 a month. So I pay that $479 each month to card number 8 until it's taken care of, and then it's a zero balance. And then you take that same $479 and you add this $50. And then after you completely pay this $4,941.27 student loan off, you take that combined total of $529 and you roll it into the 219, and you take that combined total of $748 and you roll it into the 839. And then you continue to do the same each month until you are paid down with your debt. I'm looking to, and then again, if you have anything, if your job offers you a referral bonus, if you network, meet people, recruit, and treat that as if it's new money, and do not think I'm going to spend vacation money. I get it. Sometimes we work so hard and we're like, we want to splurge. We want to have fun, but that's what this is. I did my splurging. And if you're like me, you may have done a little bit of splurging too. So let's all try for the new 2019 that will be coming into our future, hopefully for some of us, right? Let's try to be debt free. Like, let's get on top of this. It's ridiculous. I look at people in the industry that I am, and they're living literally paycheck to paycheck. And that's not the life that I want to have for myself, nor is that the life that I want my children to have. So I'm trying to be better for them so they can see that in me. And then when we're debt free, it's, you can enjoy all the trips that you want, and then when you combine all of those numbers, by the end of it, essentially, I'll be paying my mortgage over $3,356 a month. I have another thing that I'm going to try and work out and get that paid within 15 years or so. But we'll see. That's further down the road. That's a whole nother video altogether. And when I start that process, I'll keep you all informed as well. But this is, again, the snowball method. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me, email me, reach out. I'll be there. Sorry, I keep sticking my foot in the shot. But let me know. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. However, I've been working this system. That's how I was able to get the few cards down. But again, I made sure I pushed things to get down by 30% so that my credit score could shoot up. And also, stop having all of these inquiries. So you should try and have about 2 inquiries every 2 years. That's the goal. That's what you want to shoot for, because the more inquiries you have, it's just cutting into your credit score. Even though it's a minimum impact, it's still impactful. As well as obtaining new credit, that's cutting into the length of credit that you have. And sometimes we feel like, well, let me just acquire new debt to pay this off. That's cool and dandy. If it makes sense for you to just get one big loan and then you pay off. So like with most of my cards, if I got like a $50,000 loan and paid it off and had one big balloon payment, if that works for you, go for it. I wouldn't suggest it. Well, no, I would suggest it because I've done that before. You know what I'm saying? But I still have the same problem because, again, it's not a numbers issue. It's a you issue. It's that instant gratification that we're just like, you know what? No, I want it now. I want it and I want it now, right? Microwave Nation. So just let's try to be better about spending and saving, and eventually even if you don't want to pay your mortgage or whatever the largest payment, as much a month, so much over, pay it to yourself, get yourself ready. And if you have a 401k, please, 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 if you have a 401k and you have the option to take a loan out or a withdrawal, do it. I mean, at the end of the day, especially if you're younger, if you're in your 20s, you have a million more years. I'm being a little facetious, but I want everybody to live for a long time. But no, seriously, if you are under 40 and you have some wiggle room, dude, pay this stuff off. If you have the money, why sit here and be buried in the debt and be stressed out daily versus, okay, I'll take it out, be penalized, and then pay yourself back just like you were paying a constant bill into your 401k. I know typically if you pull out of it, you can't put anything back into it. Put it in a savings account, do an online account with like Citizens Trust Bank or between Citizens Trust Bank and Capital One 360. I love those two banking institutions. Put it away so that you don't have easy access to it versus it's at Chase or Wells Fargo and you can drive right around a corner. But this part 2 is starting to get a bit long-winded, and I did not want it to be this far out. But if you have any questions, shoot me a message. I'll definitely love to respond. Again, I'm nobody's financial advisor. However, this has begun to work for me to get me to bring these down so far. Because honestly, all of these were about as high as these. I'm keeping it 100. But let me know. Like this video. Yes, like the video. Subscribe. I definitely want to bring more information to you all so that you have a resource and it's honest and accurate. So you just let me know. I'll definitely post to see in a couple weeks or months or so to show you how I'm progressing. And I look forward to seeing you in the next chapter. Y'all have a good one because I'm going to be debt free and pretty well off. All right. Y'all have a good one. Bye.